Big day today. Today, I'm gonna give you the most profitable post I have ever posted out of 60,000 posts. I've built 3 companies to over $1 million a year online. One of them went on to sell for 8 figures, and I have not ever been able to top the profit that this one post made. If you post this one today, it's just ridiculous what this will do for any other post you'll post in the future. Don't take my word for it, try it out. Either way, it's free on YouTube. Enjoy. So the protagonism style content is one of my main 4 content buckets. So if you would, like, I don't do content calendars, but if I did it, it would look somewhat like this. I go among these 4. So it's philosophy. What do you believe in? Problems. Why are problems happening to your target market? And why are stuff happening or not happening? Outcomes for yourself and for your clients. And protagonism. So if you wanted to kind of point out to which workshop is most like useful to you and you like self-recognize, I'm slacking in this area. These are the best ones. So philosophy, go to whale bait, problems, value versus insight, outcomes, 20-minute email. But there wasn't one about the protagonist. That is today. Out of all of them, protagonist type content is the one that has the highest energy. Like when you read it, you just feel a different kind of energy, and typically is the one that turns into the most clients. Because it gives the one thing that people crave the most, that a lot of coaches just cannot deliver in, which is a leader. So there's too many people of reaction. There's people of action and people of reaction. People of reaction wait to see what's happening in the market, and then they react. So they see people doing the Hormozy style caption, and then they do that. They see people doing the Danco visuals of black and white, and then they do that, they react. But when you react to somebody else, you are by definition not the main character, which is kind of ironic because the people who think like, oh, I got main character energy, or like I'm doing these things and I'm like, I'm main character energy kind of stuff, they're just following somebody else's script. It's just the other end, right? It's kind of the bell curve. They're just on the other end. There's too many people of reaction, but not enough people of action. People who happen to the market. They don't wait the market to happen to them. People who are willing to go first. And these people I call the protagonists. When people say someone has a special aura, the other day we had Dan on the call, and he asked, how would we define aura? I define it as the willingness to go first, the art of going first. So when somebody has a special aura, this is what they mean. So they're not first because they have a special aura. They have a special aura because they are willing to go first. And I find that the best way to set the tone for what we're going to cover and to get you into the right state of mind, because when we talk about protagonism kind of content, if you try to do it logically, you will fuck it up. But if you let yourself be led by the feelings you're having and go momentum based rather than, copywriting based, you do better. So the one that puts me in the mood is this video. So I'm going to show you a small transcript that really explains the frame of mind of why people need a protagonist more than any time else.
Now, you accuse me of breaking the rules, and I tell you, I am playing by the rules. The very rules that you and I all agreed upon. The very rules that you and I all wrote together. So yes, I'm guilty as hell, but then so are all of you. Yes, the system is corrupt, but you wanted a guardian at the gate like me, and why? Because you know I will do whatever it takes. And you have all enjoyed it, been party to it, and benefited by it.
A little context, he's the bad guy. He's killed a lot of people, he's done very bad things, but we still keep watching. This is like season 4.
Oh, don't deny it. You've loved it. You don't actually need me to stand for anything. You just need me to stand. To be the strong man, the man of action. My God, you're addicted to action and slogans. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what I do. Just as long as I'm doing something, you're happy to be along for the ride. And frankly, I don't blame you. With all the foolishness and indecision in your lives, why not a man like me? I don't apologize. In the end, I don't care whether you love me or you hate me, just as long as I win. The deck is stacked. The rules are rigged.
That inspired me a lot. Why? Because this is exactly what people want. A mentor asked me, and you'll see this later, what's one takeaway you take from 2024? I feel like professionally, it's been the year where I created the most progress in my business. And I told them that people don't care if you're right, wrong, good, bad, kind of a dick, or a good person. As long as you're going first and you're willing to lead, they will follow. Because with all the foolishness and indecision in their lives, why not someone like you? And that hit me, honestly, because that's what people want. It taught me that competence is abundant, but confidence in oneself and self-reliance and the willingness to go first, that's what's scarce. And if we can combine both, then we make the transition from coach to protagonist. So a coach typically exists in circles, right? They just kind of have this offer and then that offer and then that offer, if not the same one. Whereas a protagonist has a goal and has actions. I've been upfront for a year now, and I've been really consistent in saying, this is my goal, this is the updates, and I keep bringing people along. It's been my pinned post for a year because it's the post I keep referring to and talking about and quoting and updating. A coach creates, as in hey, here's what I have, right? Whereas a protagonist updates. They have a goal and they just keep updating people, which is why a coach treats stuff like social media, whereas a protagonist treats it like Netflix. As in, it is literally a show. I was hesitant and I was thinking about calling this stuff the final season instead of the final intake, right? And you will see me use this wording. What season am I in? Is the finale, right? Because I see myself as a protagonist of a story. A coach is kind of indecisive because you see him doing this thing and then that thing and that thing. Whereas a protagonist cannot be indecisive. He's always decisive because if he changes his mind, that's not indecisiveness. That's called a plot twist. You're just changing how you serve. Just something in the story happened if you know how to finesse it. And a coach is always there. A protagonist is there for now. Because when you declare a goal, that implies that that goal is an end of something. When that happens, there will be less of you. This is a wonderful card to pull. This is why now in December, a lot of people are making reservations for January because I'm letting them know I'm out. People are like, oh yeah, that angle works for you. Yeah, but it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't started with the protagonist angle a year ago. So this is the angle, what we want to do today. Post about your protagonism plan and journey, predict the end of your season, and so you will have this strength all the way through 2025. Now, the reason why people don't want to declare a goal or say, hey, I want to get here, is because of being a protagonist seems risky. Because if you succeed, everyone sees it. Now, if you fail, everyone sees it too. So this perceived risk is why people hesitate becoming one. They don't want to be put in the spotlight. They believe that if they fail, that's the end of them and their brand. Ironically, I have found that it's the opposite that happens because people fall in love with you and it doesn't matter whether you win or not because you tried. And people like people who have the willingness and the bravery to try. Rocky lost his first fight and we still watch Rocky 2. Luke lost his hand and a friend and we still watch Return of the Jedi. I know I did. Walter White became a literal murderer and drug lord, and I still rewatch Breaking Bad because it is awesome. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose because people fall in love in characters, not outcomes. You don't care if the main character wins or not as much as him or her being there. And I'll prove it to you. And this is something I'm not gonna say publicly. But if I got to 100K a month in profit, I had it in the back of my head. I thought I was gonna post, hey guys, I did it. And I'm gonna finish with a cohort to show you how I did it. And then I take my hiatus. But what if I didn't? What if I lost, right? What if I didn't? And that's the reality. I didn't get there. That's just what happened. I'm gonna say, hey guys, by the way, I failed to build a 100K a month in profit business. I just built a 92K a month in profit business. Sorry. Anyway, I'm launching a cohort showing you how I did it. Whether I got there or whether I didn't never mattered. Because this thing has been rigged since day one. When Frank in that video said the deck is stacked, the rules are rigged, when you're a protagonist, you're rigging the rules because the possibility of you losing never existed because they fall in love with you. It doesn't matter whether you get there, it matters that you tried. Coaches can lose because they're playing somebody else's game. They're not even playing a game sometimes. Protagonists can't because you make the rules of the game. If at some point you feel like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to do it, then you flip the table and you invent another game, right? Because people want you anyway. I had a friend, he was in the trading niche, and then he had couple hundreds of thousands of followers. And one day he decided, I'm just going to rebrand and I'm going to do Airbnb. And, it's a pretty different niche from trading to Airbnb. So I asked him, was it hard to transfer? He's like, not at all. Why? Because people liked him. A lot of people just moved in because they fell in love with the story with you, right? We want to have that with you. We'll make that shift from coach to protagonist so that you literally rig the game with 3 tools. So the first one is your protagonist post. The second one is your Netflix content strategy. And the third one is conditioning your audience to buy. Being a protagonist implies that there's a season in which this will end. You're going away. And, that's a hell of a marketing angle. So why not use it? So let us begin. Step 1 out of 3, your protagonist post. So your protagonist post is your call to adventure. It's the post you have pinned for the entire year that you constantly quote, reference, update, and remind people of. I've posted 60,000 times, and this was still the most profitable one. So this is it. This is the post. You'll probably see it multiple times, and that's intentional. So I'm gonna walk you through a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna dissect what are the parts so you can copy it or model yours off of it if you like. The plan to make 100K a month profit with 3 hours a day. My businesses look big, but were small. Big SaaS, 15K a month for myself. Big community, 20K a month for myself. It felt good to hit the big numbers, but the voice in my head wouldn't go away. How much are you taking home? A few months ago, I decided to listen to that voice and simplified my business ruthlessly. Cap spot, stops ads, remove sales team, sold with text, put out 75% less content. The goal was to cut costs and focus on one metric, which was profit. It was tricky, but one day I woke up to the most money I've ever had in my bank account, even after selling my company. The plan for 2024 is to keep going down this path and hit 100K a month profit for myself. Post taxes, expenses, splitting with my business partner. At the time, I thought I was going to end the year with a business partner. Turns out that was not the case. I want 100K a month I can take home and do whatever I want with. Here's the plan. And I lay out the steps. Grow socials my way. Invite people to join the Likes and Cash newsletter. Host workshops, make stuff easy to buy, grow the community to 100 active members, sell access, raise prices periodically, and partner with the top ones. Now, I understand that I burned myself out previously, and this is all true. This is not a marketing angle. There are many packs of cigarettes that I shouldn't have smoked, but I did. So I said, okay, this time I'm doing it straight. No maybes, because that's stressful for me. No more than 3 hours of work per day if I don't want to, because I choose my bottleneck. It's not imposed upon me. And I will cap spots because with unlimited skill comes unlimited stress. My goal is filling our 100 spots consistently rather than taking an unlimited amount every month. And I've been constantly thinking about this thing. You go to school and we have 97. We're getting there, right? So not quite there, but we're getting there. This is the plan. All that's left is execution. I'll keep updating you as I go. This is the most profitable post I ever made, and it's nothing to do with templates or getting there or not. It's got to do with the willingness to go first and lead, to be the man of action, which is what your audience wants. More than the small details, the goal of this plan is demonstrating that you're bold enough to share yours. This is enough to increase the strength of your brand because people crave a leader now more than ever. And it starts with your protagonist post of you being willing to take accountability in public. And now we realize that the costs aren't that big, so I don't know why people don't do it. So the post has 3 main parts. The first one is the goal. What do you want? And the goal has to genuinely excite you. It typically is exciting if you don't know if you're gonna get there or not. I didn't, but hell, I got close, right? It has to excite you. I can't explain it, but if it doesn't excite you, it doesn't excite the audience either. You're gonna have micro expressions, little comments, little dots, little paragraphs that you wouldn't have written if it excited you or not. So it has to excite you. You have to actually want this. So how much money do you want to make? This is one option. For me, 100K a month profit. How many people do you want to help? I want to help 1,000 people get a 6-pack. If you don't do what you teach your clients to do, like you're coaching them in careers or in fitness, then this works, right? How much do you want to capture? So this is for an agency. I want to create 5 million every month for my clients and capture 50K every month from it. Or what thing do you want to build? This is Proyecto Casa, Project House from Javier, which if you speak Spanish, is extremely entertaining. So he is in the process of getting a house, and he's explaining how some people turn him down, some people don't. One time he wanted to get a quote, but then somebody found him on social media, and he's like, "Oh, this guy's probably loaded," and then upped the price. And he's, it's a novella. It's super entertaining, right? So this is his project. It doesn't have to be related to the business. But what do you want? A note here is that the goal itself isn't as important, so don't overthink it. It's the bravery to declare it that it's important. Remember that, like, wouldn't really care if Rocky wins or not. What we really care is Rocky is willing to try. Jim, if you could mute yourself, that'd be great. Next, your steps. So laying out how you will do things is a very natural way to promote the levels of your offer show. This eases the resistance to your offers through the entire year because people were already told they'll be sold to. This is why on the pin post, I said, I'm going to make an offer for you to join the Likes and Cash newsletter. As soon as you join my newsletter, I say, I'm going to make an offer every day because you cannot complain about being punched if you're in a boxing gym. The rules are on the wall. So I say, hey man, I'm going to invite you every day to join my newsletter. I'm going to host workshops to introduce you to my methods. And then I'm going to invite some people to join the community so we can work together to 1 million, right? Laying out the exact steps, it demonstrates that you have a plan. Will they change? Of course they will change because that's what plans do. Plans change. However, when you put them out there, that's enough. Facts are a very stubborn and like unnecessary thing. Facts don't really matter that much in marketing. You can always spin things away. And after your steps, then are your rules. Your rules are a key part of your plan because it makes people develop strong feelings about you. This is a wonderful thing. For example, we know that Batman doesn't kill. This is a key part of his character and it makes us have stronger feelings about him. Like you know that Batman doesn't kill, therefore you feel something, right? Or it makes you feel stronger than if he didn't. These rules attract whales because to whales, it's typically not just about the goal, it's also about how they get there. Promises typically attract low-income people, but philosophy and personal rules of life attract higher income people because people don't buy coaching, they buy coaches. So show what you're willing to do to accomplish the goal, as well as what you'll show your clients to do and not to do. So for me, it's I don't do maybes, no more than 3 hours of work per day, and I'll cap spots because honestly, I can't be bothered to work with everybody. So that's it. Your goal, your steps, and your rules. If you find yourself overthinking this, then remember that I said I was going to get to the end with a business partner and I didn't. I said I was going to get to 100K a month profit and I failed in front of 220,000 people. And I'm still going to spin something and somehow I'm going to end up winning. Why? Because the deck is stacked and the rules are rigged when you are a protagonist. You cannot lose because you control the game. You control the rules of the game. What matters here is you having the bravery to say, this is where I'm going. You can use my template if you'd like. You can find a pin in every post and every social media. And if you're implementing this, then at this checkpoint, probably pause the video and write your post. Now, it's not just enough to post it. We also have to weave it into the content as so. So how do we do this? We do it like Netflix. Protagonists don't treat social media like social media. They treat it more like Netflix. So for example, a coach would say something like, I just hit a record month. And the audience is like, good job, bro. Whereas a protagonist might say, I just hit a record month. If we keep going at this rate, we might hit the goal sooner than expected. The audience might be like, okay, what goal? The difference is subtle, but having a protagonist frame makes people lean in because they know that they are not the most important thing to you. Your goal is the most important thing to you. And when they are not needed, it makes you more attractive. Treating it like Netflix and not social media increases the speed at which people let themselves be led. This is a big one. There's 3 ways I've found to use this content strategy: big updates, small updates, and mini games. So we'll start with big ones. Plans will do what plans will do, which is they change. And that's the beauty of it because the path is formed as you walk it. Your best episodes are still unknown to you. Like it works a lot like a video game. Like you know that you're getting, you know how like at the top right corner of some video games you have like hearts, which are like your lives. And then an enemy hits you and you lose a heart and so on. You have to believe deep down in your soul that if you keep going, you will lose lives, but that the game will provide. And it always does. But you have to be willing to take the second step without being able to see the path. It's a mist that doesn't allow you to see more than 2 or 3 steps in the front, but you have to trust that it'll be there because it always will. Something that makes me feel better about it is, you know, I fucked up plenty during my life, but, you know, somehow I'm fine, right? Like, I tell my girl when I'm trying to do something dangerous, I'm like, hey, baby, but like, you know, I have a 100% survival rate, you know? I've been waking up every day, so like, I'm 100 for 100, you know what I mean? So you have to believe that in your heart. My expectation of what was going to happen was declare my goal, cap spots, and always be on track. If somebody churns, I'll just replace them with a waitlist member. Keep selling workshops and open and intakes, and I'm going to get to the goal. And I thought I was a genius. And then the reality hit, and I'm declared my goal. I capped spots and was on track for like maybe 1 or 2 months. Then I realized I don't need a team, and I fired my team. Then I realized I don't need a business partner. And then I split up and I incurred almost a $500,000 debt. Like this wasn't clear to me when I was starting it, but because I kept going, the game provided. I transitioned from 14 people to 2, just me and Christian. I overwork myself. Well, it's 15 actually. I overwork myself. Summer churn sets me back 3 months. And then I open up more spots. And then I understand the importance of creating long-term deals. I got engaged and I'm getting married. And, plans changed. And then I realized I don't have to wait till March to pay off Ryan's debt. I can just pay it today. And you're going to get an email out of it soon. I'm debt-free. $500,000 debt-free. Thank God. Win or not win, I'm taking a hiatus anyway. I didn't plan on this hiatus, but I will. I'm doing a final intake and then a final cohort and then a temporary retirement. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to do it. Like, I am glad that things did not go according to plan because this is a much better story than this one. And that's what I mean by saying that your best episodes are still unknown to you. So yeah, still unknown to you. And to everybody saying congrats, thank you. Very much appreciated. Plans changed throughout. Yet at the end of every step I took, I was rewarded with being shown the next one. And that's kind of how it's supposed to be. You have to let go of your insistence of certainty. You have to let go of your insistence of always being safe in order to write a good story. My dad had a mechanic shop. He would fix cars and he had this poster. And I didn't understand what it said because it was in English, but eventually I translated it. That said, you cannot discover new land. It was a ship. You can't discover new land if your insistence on always having the shore within sight. Like, you have to be able to move. And I love this meme because I played Mario all my life, but it's so true. And it's one of those things that I remember every day. Be like Mario. Mario prioritizes movement over everything else. As long as he's moving, he does not care about any hazards. You have to believe that the game will provide it because it does. And you're also the main character, by the way. And if you don't like it, you can change the game. So what are big updates? What do these look like tactically? Big updates, which can be just posts, can be in percentage hits. So whenever you hit a percentage hit off the goal, that's a big update. Also, a hell of a reason to promote your offer. Updates in business. Whenever something happens, again, your best episodes are still unknown to you, but when they happen, talk about it. I split up with Ryan as a business partner, and I talked about it. An update in progress. So I made this post and this is how many cash creators I'm going to work with. This is how many I've found. This is how many I've got to go. Keep moving and update people along the way. And remember, don't take it too seriously because the story is for your own amusement too. Besides big updates, there's also small updates. So small updates, understand that most episodes don't move the plot forward. It doesn't matter because we watch for the protagonist and not the outcome. So what are some small updates you can make? A win of you and your clients, whatever happens. Remind people of the goal. I personally do this like every month or so. An event of what happened that day. That day I just used my tools and I worked 41 minutes and this became the 41-minute workday. My most profitable email ever. An event that day helped. Just an event that you got before, over the shoulder, showing people like physically what do your eyes see. Like, this is my desk, this is what I'm looking at right now. Physical movement, this is physical. Like, actually, like you going out and touching grass, moving places. Like, you see people always in movement. If it's not travel, then it can be the gym or the coffee shop, or like keep moving, because objects that stay in motion are easier or like catch more attention than objects that are always still. People who are always in the same four walls recording the same talking head reels, they're missing the point, because people want to see you living the life. They want to see you having physical movement, doing things in real life. Like, you see me now posting about I made an investment in local pork. Like, of course I'm not keeping that quiet. Of course I'm like making a huge nose out of it because it matters. Non-business related, this is when I ran half a marathon on the treadmill. Losses as well, but only, this is my personal philosophy. I've seen other people do it the other way and also works, but I don't believe in sharing losses if you haven't solved them, if you haven't turned them into wins. Why? Because I believe personally that being the man sells more than being relatable. And if you're too relatable, I feel like you kind of lose that aura. And honestly, since sales is a status game, I'm not a fan. So I only talked about why I pay someone $38K a month after I've done the complete math on why this was not a stupid move. Statistics. So if you go back to your Stripe or your ConvertKit, or I don't know, your MyFitnessPal, if you're a coach, you will find very interesting statistics. And these typically give birth to big ideas. I understood that my Instagram makes 15 times as much as my Twitter if you say it follower for follower. And then that led to the value versus insight idea. I understood that most people have bought a workshop from me before they became a client, 80%. And that led to the prospect inertia idea. So looking at your own statistics ends up like giving you a lot of insight into what the market wants. In hindsight, talking about the events that happened. So I could post, realistically, it's not a bad idea. Do I regret firing 13 people? The answer is no, but it makes for a good post. Emotions. Like, we all want to see their characters and what they're feeling. It gives a lot of insight into them. So for me, this post was about how I'm ending my survival season. And now I realize I don't need to be as reactive as I was in my survival chapter. And now I need to like become a more mature entrepreneur. So what are you feeling as you go? Remember, you're the main character. It's like listening to your own dialogue. People want to hear that. And recycling. Recycle your top post every 6 to 8 weeks. If you have a cow, milk it. I posted this on school the other day. It was the exact same post, 8 weeks apart. It did the exact same numbers of like a couple hundred retweets, which was kind of cool. So all these make up for like, it's not filler episodes, but they don't exactly move the plot forward. And it doesn't matter because people become more enamored with you. And the last one is minigames. In your content strategy, you can blend them in, and this can be done everywhere. Minigames are games that are correlated to the main goal, but don't last that long. So an example was when I opened up the Cash Creator store, I posted this. To celebrate 1 year since my first workshop, I opened up the store, and every day I would update people on how much money it was making. So this sold this many copies, that many copies, that many copies, and this went on for like 3 weeks. It was a fun game. It also gave me like an excuse to promote this offer because I would say, today there's a price raise. I wonder how many people are gonna get it. It's entertaining, but it also lets you know, yo, there's a price raise. I wonder if you're gonna get it. Another example was excellently performed by Harry. The baby project. So Harry, he became a dad. So congratulations, Harry. Well, anyway, yeah. So his baby boy was born, and he said, "Hey guys, like when my baby boy is born, like he's the priority, not you guys, right?" So I'm taking people up to this date, and then I'm gonna dedicate myself only to serving them, not exactly just getting more clients in, because I'm a dad and I have to figure out my time now. And it got a lot of people to be like, okay, like first of all, congrats. Second of all, it's like, okay, how long will you be away? It's a mini game. It gets people to be like, okay, what's going on? Small, and I'm not saying this is small, but you understand what I mean. When it's like not the main goal you declared, it gets people to like lean in. These mini games are like a big deal to get attention. And the last one is, and the last example is this one by Robert. He announced in 30 days, I'm gonna make 100K. And like Robert's content isn't tailored to me. Like he talks to other kinds of avatar, right? Yet I tuned in and I watched every single of the 30 days because it was so interesting. I wanted to see how he did it. It attracted people from all sorts of places. And it requires bravery. I'm gonna make 100K. I'm gonna show you how I did it. And he got there, right? He took an accountability and was rewarded by it. What if he failed? What if he didn't make 100K? You could say, hey guys, I didn't get to 100K. I just made this much, but hey, this is what I learned. Who cares? What's episode 2, right? People are still gonna watch it. Mini games are exciting and fun. It gives people a strong reason to come back to you because you're putting on a good show. So now we covered the protagonist post. This is like the basis. And then the strategy, which is Netflix as content strategy. Now, how do we weave it into sales and actually get people to move? Because protagonists tend to make more money than coaches. Coaching is a luxury good, but it's sold as a commodity. People are used to coaches always being available and nice to always follow up and be there when they finally get around to needing them, which they never do. A protagonist flips the script because they see things for what they are. There are millions of people who need a problem solved, and only you can solve it the way you solve it. You are the one who holds the status in the sale, not them. The protagonist knows this. And so he takes pieces of him away from the audience to condition them to buy the next time he offers them. You want to get people to understand that things go away here. He makes the audience understand that he's willing to help, but not forever. So here's a few ways that you can do this to weave it into your sales. One is strategic price raises. So I already knew that I was going to raise prices every quarter, and that at least I was going to have a big campaign every quarter at 25, 50, 75%, and 100. If you have them scheduled, you can use these as reasons why in your marketing. You can even include it in the plan. Every quarter I'm raising prices. If you want to do it, be my guest. Private consequences. And this is just examples of like things I say via email, because the model requires most people to reply. We don't really get them to book a call and stuff. We just get them to reply. And most of our sales come through conversations. So I will use these and weave them in. Hey, I'm closing reservations tomorrow. Are we doing this, or should I release yours? For example, I'm having my final intake on January. You can bet that I'm going to use it. Have a read and let me know if you're in or if you have any questions, because I'm raising the price next quarter. I'm closing your file because I didn't hear back from you. These are all true. Because when you're a protagonist, you're the scarce good. You're not just another coach. Who else is going to provide that game? Who else is going to do it the way you do it? Nobody, because people are afraid of leading. You can use it to start conversations with people who missed out. Hey, you just missed this opening, unfortunately. Let's say they reply to your stuff after you've closed doors. Would you like to see the details of what making a reservation for the next one would look like? Hey, this replay is not for sale. What are you working on? I have some other stuff that might be helpful, right? You change your tone and the audience starts slowly getting that they can't fuck around. Like they have to move or you're out. You're an object in motion. And because you're an object in motion, they have to adjust to your speed. And you can also include public consequences. One of them is a married girl strategy. I call it that because what is the pretty girl that's on Instagram and then she posed a ring and then everybody and all the dudes get depressed because she's finally engaged. You want to do the married girl strategy, as in you cannot give me money anymore because we're closed. So you'll see me do this. Lysing Cash is closed, but it was called Lysing Cash back then. Hey, Lysing Cash is closed. Our focus is this. Would you like to be on the wait list? You want to remind people that if they want to buy things, they have to adjust to your timeframes. You can make reminders of global and local caps. So for example, I am 25% of my goal, therefore I'm raising the price. That's a local cap. Or you can remind them of the global cap. Hey, by the way, remember, when I get to this level, I'm out. And you keep reminding them, you keep reminding of the game. And because they associate you with that leadership that you were brave enough to declare in the beginning, they know you're not fucking around and it's real. And these consequences get people to move. In my experience, value doesn't move people as much as consequences. They like getting stuff, but they hate having things taken away from them more. And yeah, taking things away. So for example, I'll have my store and then I'll take it down. You can't buy this workshop after I go live. Why? Because I want to do it live. And I have something else I'm going to promote the other week. People stick to your rules.
Yeah.
Right, Flavio? So TLDR, a mentor asked me what was one big takeaway recently, and I sent them this raw screenshot. For me, it's that people don't care what you do, say, suggest, or create as long as you're willing to go first. Like crossing an empty street even though the light is green. Everyone's standing there second guessing if they should cross, but then one guy crosses and then everybody crosses. People just want you to be that person. People just want someone who's willing to go first. They just want you to lead. And if I could summarize 2024 into one sentence, like everything that I learned this year into one thing is they just want you to lead. That was the main one. If I could summarize a year in a sentence, which gave me a lot of hope, honestly. Now, I started in 2023. It took 1 year to get to 94K a month in recurring profit. And honestly, it was one of the greatest things I did. And I'm really glad that, I took that bet on myself and the model. And I think that you will be also glad you take that bet on yourself. So if that, you wanted to accomplish that, then the next steps are creating your protagonist plan now. I did it now, and January is the best month for coaching and consulting because everybody wants to change. Like, look at gyms, right? Good time to start with a plan for 2025. And even if you're watching this later, you can craft it now. Like, it doesn't really matter. People just want a leader today, tomorrow, and 10 years from now. Because with so much foolishness and indecision in people's lives, why not someone like you? So what are the steps? Step 1, declare your protagonist plan. Step 2, use the 4 content buckets in your content. So it's problem, outcome, philosophy, protagonism. 3, make big updates, small updates, and mini games known. 4, introduce consequences publicly and privately so that you condition your audience to buy. And 5, understand that win or lose, it doesn't really matter, but lead. That's the main thing. Just go first.